All right, so when you're talking about inverse, um, if I ask you to find the inverse of 2/3, what is the inverse of 2/3? 3/2, right? You just flip it. Okay, when you're talking about matrices, um, or when you're talking about just regular numbers, the inverse is 3/2 again. But the way that you found that is you simply took, so the process behind this is you took and you divided 1 by that number. So 1 divided by 2/3 is how you find the inverse. And when we talk about powers later, we'll also see that really what we did to find the inverse was we divided, or we took it to the power of -1. We're going to use this concept here to find the inverse for matrices. Okay? And so we're looking at the inverse of a matrix. Okay? It's represented, so if I had a matrix A that's represented by just a 2x2 cells that we've looked at before, okay, the inverse is going to be represented with that power of -1. Okay, and the way that you find the inverse is you take the reciprocal of its determinant and you multiply it by, it's called the identity. And so here is the pattern that you would use. Okay, now, doesn't look like that much fun doing the calculation for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at how the inverse can be calculated using the TI-89. Okay, it winds up being a nice, easy process. Okay, so let's say I wanted to find the inverse of the following. Okay, again, in your book, you have the handwritten form for doing it, but if I want to find the inverse of A, the easiest thing to do is to simply take my matrix. Okay, so we're going to enter the information. Okay, and then I'm going to take this whole thing to the power of -1. Okay, and when I do, I get my inverse. So it becomes that simple. You just need to know the keystrokes for doing this, and you solve for your inverse. All right, so I want you to just test, make sure that you have this down. Let's call set B, or matrix B, is the following. Okay, I want you to find the inverse of B. Okay, so if you enter your matrix, take it to the power of -1 to designate the reciprocal, or the inverse, and you get your solution: 11/2, -5/2, -2, and 1.